Okay, so on to the amount saved. Um, Upon inspection, I recognize that we really shouldn't be calling this 125,000 the total that's paid, but rather the loan total. So the loan total is solely based upon your scheduled payment and how many you're going to make. So the total that you have to pay back for the life of the loan is the 125,000, which it's not quite accurate to say that that's the total paid because it will change based off of these optional payments. So I have renamed total paid to be loan total. It seems more fitting. So the amount we save is going to equal the theoretical loan total, and then we need to subtract off the sum, left parenthesis, and we want to sum all of these scheduled payments and all of these optional payments. So I'm going to click on that cell, and then let me zoom in just a little bit. So I've clicked on that cell, and then I'm going to grab in the lower right hand corner, and I want to capture all of the scheduled payments and all of the optional payments. Let me expand the window so you can see better. So I've captured all of the scheduled payments and all of the optional payments in my sum. So I'm going to close the sum with the right parenthesis and hit enter. All right, so now recognize it says we saved $1.45, and the big question is, well, where the hell is that $1.45 coming from? So to see that, look at your very last statement and see that the amount of interest for the very last payment was the $1.45. So it shows up as we're saving $1.45, and that's because this $1.45 really is going towards the interest. So we should have $1.45 left on our principal. However, because the scheduled payment was exactly equal to the starting balance, this would be the very last statement. So, and this is the way it works in practicality, is when your statement balance is equal to your scheduled payment, you're done, even though $1.45 of that $347.49 went towards the interest. So recognize we really only did pay down the principal, $346. However, we're not responsible for that last $1.45 because the scheduled payment and the starting balance were equal to one another. So just be aware that $1.45 is a little misleading because that $1.45 is coming from the amount of interest we paid on the last statement. So I mean, saving $1.45 on a $125,000 loan, who cares? Now recognize what this did for us is if we throw, an extra $100 down for an optional payment, recognize we are saving quite a bit of money. And if we do that repeatedly, it shows us how much we actually save. And one thing I do want to point out is notice that a $100 payment saves us $345. So an extra $100 payment on the very first payment saves right around $345. Compare that to adding a $100 payment towards the end. So let's say we made a $100 payment on the 358th billing statement. And you'll see the amount saved is quite a bit less. So do recognize those optional payments save you more if you make them at the front of the loan rather than the back end of the loan. So And the reason why that is because this optional payment, if you put $100 down for the optional payment, that $100 goes directly onto your principal, and decreasing the principal will then cause you to pay less interest. So $100 at the front of the loan has more of an effect than an extra $100 at the back end of the loan. So something to take note of. Whenever you take out an amortized loan, you want to try and make more than the minimum monthly payment. And if you can put even, an extra $50 down, I mean, that $50 on your very first payment saved you $173 in the long run. And that's because making early optional payments decreases the principal, which in turn decreases the interest you have to pay. So that will have more of an effect on the front of the loan rather than the back of the loan. So this is the loan sheet, and so what would really be nice is if we could produce a graph from this information. So, and what I would like to know, or what I would like to see, is my scheduled payment listed for every payment date, and also I want to see how much is going towards interest. So let's go ahead and on the next video we'll go over constructing a graph of this data.